This man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy, inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man.
Greetings and welcome to the Everything Agriculture Show. It's another Friday evening here on Real Entertainment Network. I'm your host, Banky, and my other co-host, Yason Tafari. And our guest this evening will be my virgin Mol. You all know him as Kenneth Libel, but I know him as Mol. All right, so this evening we'll be talking about small spaces and backyard gardening and the importance of growing some of what to eat, because we live in a world now. It's not just about why dropping bomb on your gunshot and all these different stuff are poison. It's all about your food now is being weaponized. It's important that you grow some of what to eat and connect with your food so you can be more healthier and stuff like that. So let me say good evening first to the folks here in Oli and Layamiga. Greatly appreciate you guys tuning in on this Friday evening. You could be listening any other radio station or any media host, but you choose to dedicate yourself and give us your time, and we really appreciate your time. We don't take it for granted. That's why this talk show is more or less inclusive, where we work together, where you make your comment, we read your comments, and it's a participatory kind of show where we're not just here talking and you can't call in. You're required to call in and ask a question, and we try to answer the question as much as possible and give the best advice. And so if you can't answer the question at this present time, then we get the information and come back to you. So also good evening to the folks in the neighboring islands, Sabre, Statia, St. Martin, St. Bart's, folks over in Montserrat, Antigua and Barbuda. Not forgetting the U.S. Virgin Islands and the BVI, also the folks in the diaspora, and also the folks over in Europe or wherever you're at. Greatly appreciate the guys tuning in this Friday evening. I know sometimes the hours is more in the morning, so whichever is appropriate. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you again for choosing Real Entertainment Network and the Everything Agriculture Show. And also Happy New Year to those who just tuned in. If you just come across us and the first time listening to the show, we appreciate that. And also let me say thanks to those who meet me and let me know they listen to the show and they appreciate what we're doing. And also to the young gentlemen them who listen to the show also. We greatly appreciate these things, and so that you have an interest, because it's important that you have continuity when it comes to the agricultural sector. And agriculture is one of that sector that need land, it need your resource, which is the most water, and they need that dedication. So who control the land, control the people. So you got to make up your mind which part you're gonna fit inside here. So this evening we're gonna talk to one of the backyard king, which is my virgin Molas, Kenneth Laibot. I mean, he have really transformed his backyard into an oasis where he actually shows different farming techniques, raised beds, planting in pots, planting in bags, just planting around stones and blocks, and just being creative and at the same time making it fun. I remember when he started and then he said, boy, you can't farm another drip system. What bad news to talk about? You use hose all the time, so. And then he said, you can't farm an electrical fence. So it's just investment. But the investment will also pay off. So the dance can pay for the light. If it's one thing you can guarantee with agriculture, the dance can pay for the light. If you have consistency, that's the key. The key is consistency. It's like I have in tomato fruiting, I'm picking off a bell peppers, seasoned pepper already planted, and next set of tomatoes don't start to flower now, so I don't have the next set already. So you end up and have almost and want to build. So you always have two set of harvesting, one harvesting and one coming into about harvesting every two set of things harvesting the same time. Same thing with sorrels. So to watermelon, whatever you plant it in stages. From the moment one start to fruit and harvest, you plant the next set. So when you start to flower, you plant the next set. And that's how you go about doing it. So it's all about consistency. So this evening, I know some of us don't have a large space, but the objective is whatever space you have. If you like tomato, you plant one tomato tree. You like bell pepper, you plant one bell pepper tree. Those same trees, they can save you from from buying tomatoes or whatever for a few weeks, and it goes a long way. All right. So let me say thanks again, and also for those who come out and every day and throughout the week, Monday to Saturday, and support Shabbos Organics, and also at Mansa's Last Stop, supporting the Super Red, and they come every Friday, get their cook up. Molly, you're one of those people come on Saturday, sometimes you get your food also, and big up Cut and Toot and all them guys, and Wilroy Williams, all them guys come over and get their car meal and fish, and whoever want the curry chicken or the oxtail, or you know what I mean, just nice soul food. Them girls can cook. So big up Aisha, big up Amanis in the kitchen and Aisha and so forth. So definitely come out and you get the best scenery in the house right on the main road right there. And if you don't want to be to the front side, you come to the back and chill and actually and eat your food and the kind of vibes and within nature. And that's what it's all about. So again, Yasan, how you doing?
Well, I'm giving thanks. Have been up to a number of interesting things as this year has started. Looking forward to some rains. We're in the rainy season, but I'm not seeing as much rain as we should be getting. I don't know if it's a part of climate change, but definitely looking forward to a little bit more. It's a pleasure to be here on another edition of Everything Agriculture, and kicking things off with backyard farmer, as we would say, Mull, Kenneth. It's a great way to start the year, as I think as many look around and observe the things that are happening around us in the global space. I think now more than ever before, everybody really need to begin to think about having their own backyard garden and planting something, because as you can see, it's getting rough. It's getting rough. And, so far how it looks like it's only going to get a bit rougher. And so we want to, as much as possible, encourage you to grow something. Or if you're into animal husbandry, that's another side of it. If you're into beekeeping, the apiary side of the business, that's welcome. If you're into fishing, whatever it is, whatever aspect of agriculture you are focused on. So don't get it twisted because we are talking about backyard garden in that sense. We're focusing on the backyard garden this evening to encourage most of you, because not everybody who would go to the ocean. Some people don't like the sea. Some people might never want to have anything to do with bees, and so that might not be a business for them. But for sure, I am positive, even though some people have this story about they don't have green thumb and all of these things, I don't subscribe to that thing. I know if you really make an effort and you get the necessary knowledge and experience and teaching, then you would be able to grow some things. And so I want to encourage you all, whoever is listening to us, it doesn't matter where you are, there are systems that you can buy that you could even grow things in your house, in your home, under lights. And so even if you're in those cold, tropical, temperate regions, you still can grow things inside. So I want to definitely thank Mull for being here to kick things off on another edition of Everything Agriculture, and we always look forward to an engaging discussion with Mull. And so I want some of the updates on what has been happening, in the couple of months that he has not been here on the platform with us. So Mull, welcome, and we definitely look forward to the engagement and the discussions and the updates this evening. So if Banky don't have anything else to say at this point, well, then the floor is yours for you to just introduce yourself. I mean, yes, we know you, and we know you have been here several times before, but still, we have new listeners, and they may not know exactly who you are. So you could give a little brief introduction of who you are and so on, and then we could get into, some of the things that we will discuss this evening.
All right. Thank you guys for having me here. It's always a pleasure, Banky and me go way back. But like I said, my name is Kenneth P. Liebert from Brown Hill. Everybody call me Mull. Went to Ivor Water School in Charleston. What I do now, well, I work for the government too, as a mechanic at the shop. But when I come home in the morning and in the afternoon, I just simply plant food. You say plant and grow what you eat. And you know the food is safe, and you know exactly what you put into it. Because nowadays they have so much artificial stuff and stuff like that. You don't even know what is what. So, and it's for me, it's a pleasure always to go out every morning. Every morning I can go out and pick something from my yard. And I don't have a big space. I have a quarter acre land. In front is flowers for the wife, the house on it, and then the sides and the back. I just plant. And everywhere in anything, I plant mostly in raised beds and grow bags and pots. And I plant names. I could tell you right now, I have it in my yard. So always a pleasure being here, and my job is to encourage people just to plant food.
All right, beautiful, Mull. Before we get into the conversation, I know we have the premier himself have his backyard, and he do his little gardening and himself harvesting and using it to showcase what he's harvesting, and then the prime minister himself will be doing the same to showcase who got the biggest bunch of banana. So if those who are who are put in place, who are leading us, who we say they are professionals, they are lawyers, they are doctors, are growing their food, that should click something. Can the physician them to go to Bal Rollins, they into agriculture, they got animals and so forth. You see what I mean? So we are looking at things the opposite way. So the professionals who we tend to look up to, they're into agriculture. Dr. Liebert, he's also a farmer. And I can go and. You see what I mean? You got Jones with the CBJ at the boat, but Jones is one of the biggest farmers. He got the most animals. When it comes, he's the biggest pork producer. We still got goat, sheep, then drunk cows, Mr. Boy Kawaja, Jones, Isaac, Jones, business partners. These guys are into agriculture. But the society is just seeing things the opposite way. Most of these businessmen are into agriculture. Striverton, Strani, my boy, look above memes, pure food. You go down down there by swamp, all behind there, food. You go over which part you got the log where you got the thing where you do ear tank to fill the ear in them. Coconut trees are in so Shiverton deal. The man just plant food, and the man is big businessman. And so chose to. So are we foolish now? What we have the monitor what these guys want here doing? Because you got to eat. And if she were to tell the motor when mango be how much money you'll make off a mango alone. You know what I mean? And jelly and all these things. And now it's a whole heap of avocado you got plant. Again, they wait in the main road. And the land that you do about the by Blood Mems was to sell into lots. And they wasn't buying the land. So you know how to be headed. He just planted up food. Because the best thing he could have done. You see what I mean? So I love this. So this evening, before we get to the conversation with Mull, I want to show 2 videos and then one with the premier in his gardening. Because this should show if the premier can get a little thing I harvest, I can do the same thing too. So I should be inspired. Okay, at least make some time, and then then the prime minister, the same that they're saying on and something with America where they're gonna bringing in refugees, deportees from some Caribbean countries and wherever to come to the island. So I'm off food. So they're gonna eat sea water. That's what they're gonna eat. They're gonna eat dirt, and where they're gonna sleep. So food here comes again. Then they had a destiny for the. So it's where food coming all the time. Food is always the number one part of the equation, and then how these things gonna affect our livity. So, engineer, I want you to play the first 2 videos, and then we come back and we start to get into the reasoning with Mull and the importance of growing some of your food. We start off with anyone the videos back to back.
So here we have really great okras. Look at that. We have some sorrel here getting ready, and look at all of these seasoning peppers. So many seasoning peppers. All this food being created from a little plot.
Prime Minister Jew is about to take in refugees, which he claims would be from CARICOM countries. I wish the good doctor would name the CARICOM countries. Something is amiss. It boggles the mind. One love. Read this email. Yes, something is amiss. Jew is taking refugees, and he says the refugees are coming from CARICOM countries. Do you believe Terence Jew? Do you really believe Terence Jew, my Straight Talk family?
That St. Kitts and Nevis, of course, was approached by the United States of America as the other CARICOM countries, and we took a very proactive approach in sitting with the Americans to reach an arrangement that I think that arrangement is in keeping with our principles and, of course, having the collaboration with the United States of America as well. I know we are intelligent people. I know we have been looking very closely, and I know our people understand that the geopolitical environment at this time is not what we have been accustomed to. We know that there have been shifts, and so being proactive is very important, and I want to thank our people, of course, who have been involved in this. So St. Kitts and Nevis has negotiated and entered into a memorandum of understanding with the United States of America for the potential transfer of certain third country nationals. And I want us to listen carefully, who are citizens or nationals of the Caribbean community. This does not involve anybody outside of CARICOM.
Yes, I want to thank the premier, for posting that video, and also last night on Ian Patch's live show, Straight Talk, which always very educational and bringing the point and everything to the people. So big up Patches for that video on Straight Talk. Wonderful show last night, very interactive and breaking down all these different stuff. So Patches, thanks for that video and Straight Talk as usual. So here you see the Premier Mull, your son, harvesting some seasoned pepper, some okra. Just in a small area, you even got a sorrel. Once a man a plant, you have to give, is doing more than the effort you harvest. You have to give thanks for that, because some not plant. You see what I mean? So if the Premier can do this, find time to plant some of what he eat. I mean, when you go into his kitchen, his food will be tasting much better because he harvesting fresh stuff. You see what I mean? He planted, he know what goes on it. His food is safe. This is what we need to encourage. So if the Premier do it, that's what I tell the Premier he need to take agriculture, because he's the commander-in-chief, but he not listen to me. Because he a farmer, that means agriculture not going to plant. You see what I mean? So the Premier, and then now you have the Dr. Juno coming in and bringing deportees are refugees from CARICOM countries. I don't know which Caribbean countries CARICOM don't want to accept their own people. So how this going to impact us when it comes to food again? It's just going to add more food, so we're going to continue importing more food. Are we really going to invest in our people when it comes to and put money in the agricultural sector to encourage people like Mol, Yassan, and all those who have that interest, whether it's come to into poultry or into small or large ruminants, or into crop or into the fishing industry or the value-added products? But we got to start from somewhere. So the small space is what is important. You have you build in all these homes, in all these communities. Is one of the biggest. Every minute somebody call me want a place to rent. You see what I mean? Home is a serious thing. So if you're going to build all these homes, you should give them some more yard space to encourage them, and also encourage them what you have to plan. You understand? So it's important. So we got to work together. So Mol, how we get to the point where you're at? Because I know you're coming from a history of a farming family and stuff like that. But now you have scaled down and you have now developed into one of the most, I must say, the best small space that is. I really want people to see your backyard, because it's something really interesting to watch how this space has been used and the amount of food that could be grown. Because most people say, oh, the soil is hard and it's stony. But yeah, the plants don't know where it's at, so you can use different techniques and growing it. You got tires, you got old pans, old fridge, all different stuff. Just be creative and make it fun. So I want you to tell the listening audience how you get into this and how you transform your yard from a regular backyard with 1 or 2 fruit trees till you can't even walk in your yard. Can know you have your little area where you set your nursery, you have your tool shed. I mean, you just keep adding stuff. So let's talk to the audience and let them know how you end up and come to this guy. This need to be showing at NNC, NNC need to come and show this every night. This is what they need to pay you and advertise you for backyard space and give you a stipend. They need people to get serious.
Well, like you say, I grew up in farming. You know what I mean? My father was farmer. We did everything. Livestock. My brothers didn't do the fishing. But my father, we did livestock and ground provision, ground planting, But then I branched off later in livestock. I was raising cow. I had a lot of cows at one time. And one time I was the number 1 beef man. I used to sell a lot of beef. Matter of fact, the same land I'm on right now, I bought it out of beef, selling beef. Just driving around maybe once a month, Friday afternoon, take off the whole Friday from work and just sell my beef. So that's what I think. But then, like you say, the space gets smaller, you know what I mean? A lot more houses start to build. You don't have any more pasture. So then you kind of stay away from that. And then, I build this house, eventually get a yard fence. And the idea was just to plant, the white flowers in front and 1 or 2 fruit trees and do a little bit of backyard farming to the back. And then I brought in the plow, and the soil was free and hard, and then I brought in some topsoil and some manure, have a backhoe, level it out, and I started. I will call you back and I show you, and you say, well, I'm going to bring in the plow to bank it, and you say, man, just plant just like that, which I did. And I started doing that, and then eventually over time the weed thing get kind of rough. And one night I was watching this TV show, House TV, and I hear him talk about planter box, and I say, wow, this could be an idea. And I went and looked some wood, some 2x6, and I had a friend of mine where sadly he passed, you know what I mean? A lot of mercy on him. I tell him, I said, I have a crazy idea. And he said, what? I said, man, I want to build some boxes in my yard. So we went out one night, and me and my wife got a tape and a pen, and we measure every little space to the back, and say, listen, we want to put this here and this here. This box could hold here or there. And I call him, get the wood, and he said, whatever you want, I'll do. And that's where we started from. And like I said, the rest is history. I just keep going and going and going.
So what are some of the stuff that you plant that you've been planting? And when you started off, how was the watering system? How was that when you started off? Because I mean, if you plant, I mean, you have to water them with a hose or with a pan. So how was that at the first, when you started? How was that started
Well,
off?
But when I started, it was just the regular water was because how my yard set up. I have like 4 standpipe in my yard.
Okay.
So I had a hose and basically all of them. And I was just watering. And then, watering take time. I could tell that right now. So then I get some
Yes.
sprinkler. And then the sprinkler, but over time, the sprinkler, the trees, some of the fruit trees then get bigger, get bigger. So, the sprinkler wasn't going as it should. And
Efficient.
then,
It wasn't
talking to you,
efficient. Yes.
yeah, it wasn't efficient. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm talking to you again and you say, well, you got to get some drip line. And
Yes.
I one person, want something need to be done. I just get it done. And before I go
Yes.
any further, I remember one time, 2017, I mean, I was telling you that, the monkey is raiding me.
Mm-hmm.
And you said to me, well, you cannot do farming unless you get a monkey fence, electrical fence. And I said, man, I ain't know about electrical fence. And you send me a
Yes.
picture and tell me, well, look this one, which I
Yes.
did. And you gave me the pipe them to put on the thing and tell me which wire to buy. And I just did it. And well, the monkey them, we've been fighting battles since. I could tell you that up to right now. But at
Yes.
least it's a lot better
You
because
help.
you have the electrical fence and they just can't walk in like that, you know what I mean? If they do get in there and they see you, they take off because they don't want you back them up to the shack. So if you're gonna do a
Yes.
backyard, you gotta spend some money and do electrical fence. You just can't
Yes.
say, well, the
Okay.
monkey this. You gotta just do something.
Okay. What we're gonna do now? We want to show some videos, and then when you come back in, we want to bring in Yasan. Yasan, you ever been by Mall?
No, I've never visited his garden,
Okay.
so that
All
the
right.
trip we have
So
some.
so once we come out the video, then you'll take over, and after you see the video. So engineer, some videos with Mall.
This is a beautiful bunch of grape. Pick it this morning from the backyard. The darker it is, the riper it is, and the sweeter it is. Get the slip from the man himself. Clyde Libert from the agriculture department. Enough love.
Okay.
This is the backyard, so some potato here, with some herbs right here. These are some cucumbers. These are some boro peas. Some carrots right here. Some lettuce right here down this side of the house. Some spinach. Some sweet potato. And some carrots in some pots. And these are some more lettuce here. Some more herbs here. Some more. Same potato again. Different angle. Sweet potato on the back step. In pots and grow bags. And the herbs right here again. Plant food. These are some lettuce. Ready to go. Some broccoli coming on nicely. Oh. And some Irish potato. Some Irish potato. Some peppers just planted. And some sweet peppers again, some cauliflower and broccoli right here in this box here. Alright. And down this side here we have some lettuce and pine in pots. And some cherry tomato, some herbs, some kibosh. And last but not least, some thyme in the box here. And some beet just planted yesterday. And some tomato just planted yesterday. And to top it all off, this is some lettuce just planted. Right? Welcome to the backyard.
Yes, son?
By, the more really demonstrating what you could do with a small space, That's all I'm seeing, The amount of things you can do with a small little space. And if he could do that with a small little space, what is that saying to the individual at home? What is it that you can, and even the video that we saw with the premier demonstrating, well, hey, at least you could have something, and it doesn't matter how busy you are, you can still make a little time to have something going. Mal, I like you really want to encourage a lot more people to do this, and so that is why I always love when Banky bring you on the platform to not just talk but you show, because I like the videos as well where people can actually see, literally see. And I know also that based on our past conversations that you have always been willing to teach and help others as well, who may be interested in doing such. You just like how you spoke about advice that you got from Banky and so on to help you get going and so on. You, when I listen to you, have always been willing to do the same and just share that whatever little knowledge or expertise and motivation to encourage folks to do this. I really trust and hope that the messages are really reaching to the audience, because with what's going on right now, especially with the war in Venezuela, well, what happened in Venezuela, the kind of uneasy energy that we have in the Caribbean, um, the fact that you could hear the cries from many of the leaders around the region that they don't have money and they're not getting access to some of the investors like they used to before. And so you find that we are in a tricky situation. um, Ships are being stopped on the ocean. Some of them are oil tankers and so on. But what when it becomes now they reach the next level and they say where they stop in the food as well too. Um, so that's why I'm saying with all that's going on, I'm just trying to put a lot of these different things into perspective as to why what you are doing is so critical and why a lot more people really need to begin to grow what they eat. I have not even gotten into the other aspect of the chemicals and the modifying of the seeds and so on, and so how important it is for us to maintain our organic or heirloom seeds, and also create, whether it's cuttings or ear layering or whatever different other methods of seeking to maintain our indigenous, whether it's fruits or veggies and stuff like that. So, like I said, it's always a pleasure having you here and to engage in this discussion. And looking at the videos, Mal, I mean, I love how you're keeping it. You have it in different stages. Well, while some is, coming and getting ready to harvest, some just starting. I mean, yeah, I love how you have it set up. And so it's really a motivation and an inspiration, and should be to anyone who is looking, Banky.
Yes, Jason, what molds have done to his backyard, people need help, and the department have a responsibility when it comes to encourage others. I know I work on a program along with Mol, and I think was one of the ministry Mol when it come to with females, single females, and when it come to raised beds, and also if one is handicapped, because the raised bed, you don't have to, if you don't have to go on the ground, the raised bed could be built on legs and be up to your waist where you can just stand up in case you have any disabilities. So anything could be modified It depends. So depend on your age and stuff like that. So you don't have to be bent down if you have issues when it comes to your age and bending over is a problem. Then you bring up the raised beds where you can stand up and move around, where you can sit in a chair and still do your farming. And these are how. And so what I think need to be put in place also is small grants, small loans with no interest and stuff where people can get these to help them whether to fence the yard and all at the same time. 'Cause you can't plant in a yard no fencing because that never work. You see what I mean?
No.
So if we're gonna be serious about bringing down our food import bill, we gotta make agriculture nationalized. We gotta put things in place where earmark land that's gonna be specific for agriculture for the next 1,000 years. Unless you have to encroach on these land, you don't do it. If we are serious, but right now I'm not seeing it. Yes, I mean enough because you can look around and realize is every day boat coming in, and I hear it every minute. The food coming in is not good, and they put it down, it's spoiled. You hear the stories of over and over. The farmer is not planting it because he want to plant. The farmer planting because he knows it's a necessity, it's a must. He's doing the right thing. He grew up right up on the island, so he understand what the importance of eating some of what you grow. He got a mango tree in the yard. He got avocado trees in the yard. So if you make a thing to plant in the yard and the coconut tree drink fresh jelly water, well, I know see something wrong with that and I have lot no food. The man laugh after you. How you got the man laugh after you? Eh? The man everybody have to go to buy a jelly water from the road. When you go in the car for jelly and pick up fresh jelly water right there. You get it fresh. Come from St. Vincent across no waters and then you sit down and he pick it fresh. So we should learn at these things and look at these things. These are serious things. The food that is coming that we're eating, a lot of the food, most of it is not good, it's not even real. That's the problem. And the food I have on coatings of wax and dips in fungicide and all this different stuff, and pick half ripe and funk and put in with ethylene gas and to ripen it and all this different stuff. Even the animals you feed is a lot of hormones. We got to get serious when it comes to eating. So more, I know you even have pineapple. You're at a stage. So explain to them the importance of growing what to eat.
Well, the importance of growing what you eat, right? You know exactly what you're getting. I mean, the other day I had some cucumbers, right? And I was saying, man, I believe my mind playing tricks on me because I don't believe cucumbers supposed to be that sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, man, and somebody said, man, you're crazy because you grow them naturally. And I remember I drew some the other day and I gave a friend, a co-worker, and he said, man, I know you do this naturally. It's pure cucumber juice. But this thing ain't need no sugar. He said you drink it off one time.
Of course.
You drink out the bottle one time. Because it's all natural. And then they had some cauliflower. Well, some folk get in my yard and pick them up too, but that's the next story. But they had some cauliflower and he was cooking them, and I said to my wife, man, these cauliflower taste far different to those that you bought in the store, in the shop, in the supermarket. And she said, of course, you grow them naturally. They must have to be better. So you know exactly, you watch them grow, you see exactly what you do with them. Nobody got to tell you nothing. You see them from slips to your plate. You know exactly what you did with them and how you grow them because all I use is some manual, like my father used to do. Because back then, when we were youngster, they used to chop the hole with hoe and we used to come behind and dung the thing and then they plant. All I do, every drip line I have, I just dig a hole and dung it and planting it. And if that ain't good enough, well, that's it. But you know that exactly, you ain't got no chemical, no fertilizer, nothing. You go naturally. And that's why they could last so well. The other day, my brother was here and I picked some cabbages. And he was telling me, man, I know you got to leave on this leaf on this cabbage because these leaf are just looking nice. He said you got to put in an extra one here to bring up the pony, but because of the leaves. But leave on the leaves because You never really see cabbage leaf like that. And I don't really do not know them. But you just
And the
monitor, you
leaves
sting
can
them,
cook
and you
too.
just, the leaves can
And
cook
you can
too,
use the
but
leaves
he was
to
just saying,
prepare
just
rice.
in case they
Yes.
complain, just in case they complain about the leaves, you know, you put on an extra, you know what I mean? So I said, well, it is what
Of
it is,
course,
you know
of
what I mean?
course.
But he was like, don't, I
Yes.
was about to take it. He said, no, no, don't take it off. But you know,
Yes.
that's the importance of seeing, growing what you eat. You see something grow, and you just see it on your plate. And nobody, because when you look at some videos that you see going around that they use this thing to write this and this to put on this, and be honest with you, I'll be honest with you right now, I'm afraid of buying anything. I'm afraid of buying anything.
And
Because
that
the
is
more the
serious
thing
too.
is,
No,
yeah, go ahead.
finish up. Go ahead. No, and that is still
And
because
that,
you're not also growing stuff in your yard. You're also partnering with Desmond Bartlett culture and next serious
yeah,
one when it comes to backyard gardening and farming. Any little space you find, whatever space you chuck in something. Australian culture, you got in sweet corn, cauliflower, cabbage, sorrel, all kind of stuff. Culture and got in the same with sweet potato, cassava, all kind of thing. And then he has adapted and you come and fit in with him, the Ivor Walters greenhouse. How did that come about?
well, I don't know how the greenhouse really come about, because that was some grant or something. But we went down
No,
there and planted
I
some
mean how
herbs
you all
there.
adapt it, yeah, and when you all get involved and start just
Well,
taking care of the
he was just,
greenhouse in a sense like that's some.
well,
Yes.
you know, I went Ever Walton School, and he was like, you know, well, one time when Miss Gaskell become PS,
Yes.
I went to have a conversation with her, and I said, listen to me, every school, primary school, let me put it this way, I don't know if you bought high school, every primary school in Nevis I know have a kitchen. And I believe every school should have a garden. I remember when we went to Ever Walton School, we had a garden. And I was telling her, listen to me, that we need to get this thing back. Because if you have a kitchen now, when we were going to school, we didn't have a kitchen. We had to go home and go eat. But now you have a thing. So, and I tell them the importance of seeing the children there, letting the children see that they could grow something. And when you look at seed and they plate, you can't know about that. It's something you can't teach that. And they can inspire their parents when they go home and encourage them and say, listen, mommy or daddy, we did this here. And you say, why can't we do it home? So, you know, things like that could encourage parents to start something. And as my good friend Culture say, you know what I mean, a lot of people have money and they don't want to spend none. But I remember my father told me one time that in World War II, that they was bombing this ship that bringing the food. This is what he told me. I don't know. I mean, World War II was in the 40s or whatever story it was. But they had to grow a lot of food because they were destroying the ships that brought the food. And we can't go back to that. Nobody was supposed to control us. We have some of the best soil and we have water in Nevis, and we should be planting wherever we can. I know we need help with the monkey, but we just can't sit there like the four leper man in the Bible and say, we're going to sit here. If we're going to sit here, we're going to die. We're going to get up and make a move. I mean, I remember one guy said to me the other day, you're reaping because you live in a good location. I said, come on, man. Every morning I wake up and see about 50, 60 monkey outside the gates. But you got to do something. You just have to. And that's what I did. I invest. I do the monkey fence. I do the box them, the pots. I mean, I always buying something. Always. Because I want to eat what I grow.
Yes, we have over 30,000 monkeys on the island. From the last report that studies that was done by Kerry, Dr. Kerry, who based in St. Kitts, by the USAID and stuff like that, a 10-year project, and the next 30,000 in St. Kitts. And this is already gone over a year now, so which means you could add a couple more hundred on that if I say go. So unless we don't get serious when it comes to bringing down this population and investing and make agriculture, you see what we are not seeing, and our leaders them know the importance of agriculture, and they know what it takes, because we want to name Sugar City and Queen of the Caribbean. It's agriculture. These things that come because of, they don't come here for luxury. We have the first battle around us. We have, you see, Brimstone Hill and all these fortresses, these type of churches, monument churches, the Anglican churches along Keon Street and these places. We see, we Methodist churches. We see the royalty and the richness of these two islands. We are called beautiful waters, fertile land. It is there. The evidence is there. We build great nations. And now they must come back, And then we acting like we don't care about the island. We treating the island like it's a dump. So we want to bring in our kind of people. It take hostage, and then we become the minority, and then we reach a point we have to import everything. We don't import everything, only up more and more. You don't spend over $200 million to import food, and instead of encouraging COVID come and gone, and the biggest thing was everybody to get into farming, little backyard gardening. You remember that, Mol? Talk about that, Mol. Oh, you remember?
Yeah, I remember.
So whole farm now.
Just before COVID, I mean, a lot of people was giving me some licks and was telling me, man, you soon can walk in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay. But then afterwards, COVID hit, and then the cry from everybody was, plant something. You got to plant something in the yard. And then I remember I told you, and I said, boy, everybody saying, no, plant something. And you say, we hold the fool now because you're way ahead of them. Because you can't wait till people to come and say, well, nothing, you know what I mean? You can't go to this place. Because let's face it, you come home, you put on your clothes and you go on like, that ain't helping you. I mean, you could go out and plant something, even in a pot. I mean, I have sweet potato and yam and carrots going right now on my septic tank. I have a back step there. I have 10 grow bags and 2 pots and 4 rows of back step. I remember when I said to myself, this door ain't opening. And I said, man, if we ain't opening it, it's just a waste of space. And I added 10 grow bags and get 2 more pots with it. And that's 12. And I eating potato out of that all last year. Matter of fact, last year, only one time my wife went to buy potato. And I tell she, well, why you went to buy for? Because I have. Like this week herself, she sent me go buy something to make soup. And barely see you, I was saying my stuff ain't ready yet. And I say, I couldn't get none. And I went home and I think Banky, you got a picture, I sent it to you. I get yam, sweet potato, and Tanya. But then I went and put it up on my status. And then I began to get all kind of calls, which I don't have enough to think it was just enough for me for us to cook. But then I began to get all kind of calls and say, you gotta sell. I want this. I just get different calls and people were just calling me all the time. And I began to laugh. But this is what you got. This is what you got to do. You got to do something. And as my friend Culture said, you mentioned his name, that you have to invest. You got to spend some money.
Yes. I also want to touch on a young lady there working in Bank of Nevis, Bronte Swanston.
Yes.
I know they had a home, on Hannes Road, they have a home there in the yard, in Havana Roof, and they had the interest when it come to start a little garden. And here comes again, going in the capital, going down as a culture, you set up the house there. That's a nice house. You got some garden there, though. You kind of love us. It's a home with no roof on, no windows in there. Yeah. So it's just like a shell. So you don't know the monkey again. Now you think about an animal garden there just to make sure set it nice and all the rooms that could be used as a different planting section. Next week I get called Culture tell me here Bunty working on the project. I say, what? Same project? Yeah, when I see the pictures, man, got to big up Bunty Swanson and along with her husband for taking that initiative, listening to Culture, put in a little investment, and you're feeding yourself and you can afford to sell and give your neighbors and the dance to pay for the light. You just got to be consistent. You just got to continue it, put in the time. If you don't have the time, you cannot, because you're taking care of a living organism. You can't have a tomato tree plant and say, oh, I'm at home this morning and me left from the till 3 days later, I'm in a work like so. And then every day
Yeah.
the environment is different. So you got to mulch when you need to mulch to keep in the moisture. Because right now the heat, you monitor the environment, the heat is coming in and so forth. You feel so you make sure you mulch around the root zones at least to keep in that moisture. So you help with the water less and all this different stuff. So it's all about monitoring the environment and you make the adjustment. Just like if you play on a hot day, you put on different type of clothing. You might put on you have your umbrella or you have a hat or you drink more fluids. It's the same thing. You just got to keep the plant as cool as possible within the environment where it's at. And the most important nutrient is water, and it's mostly overlooked. Yes, son.
Yes, definitely. And water is key. And I'm really just happy to hear how we are seeking to encourage people to take their backyard gardening a little bit more seriously, especially within the times that we are living in. Um, Banky, there's not much more we can do in terms of really trying to encourage people to do this. Mull has been like a beacon. Um, we can do much more in terms of also promoting Mull and encouraging Mull to encourage a lot more people to do what he has found a passion in. Um, I know the feeling when you could grow something and you could eventually give somebody something. It's not even
Yeah.
about the extras that you might, because you have a surplus, you might sell some or whatever it is. But it's not even so much about the money. It's more about the fact that you can grow something, you can eat it, and you can give somebody with your heart and let them have whatever it is, whether it's some sorrel, some okra, some potato, some whatever it is, and it means a lot more to that individual too, because when they put on the pot home and they eating and they say, "Bye, it's mall, it's because I'm mall." I love that kind of energy when I know I could go buy Banky and Banky give me whether it's a Hana banana or whatever it is, and when I'm eating that, I'm feeling the energy of Banky. 'Cause I'm thinking, "Bye, what I mean? It's Banky get this thing from." So these are some of the things that kind of add to um, knowing that we really need to, apart from if you feel like you don't have that energy to um, grow for yourself, at least develop a proper relationship with a farmer or farmers so that you can know what they're practicing in terms of, if they're organic, if they like Mull and Banky and so on, and really using chemicals and a pesticide and so on as much as possible, try to avoid, dealing with those things. So then that you know that when you're eating, whatever you're eating, it is healthy. It is, culturally grown. It is grown with a little bit of love and attention as well too. So we definitely totally appreciate you guys coming on board, and Mull, I really gotta tip my hats to you for a little quarter acre and the kind of things that you talk about, you harvest and you're able to offer, and you still have time to work with the school. And I think there was a point you were working with a group of young ladies or a group in your area as well. I don't know if that is still active and so on, but you still find time to do this. And that is why I say you really have that drive and that passion, not just for yourself, because even though you have all that to do, you still make time to go out and try to help and encourage folks to do that. And so I definitely have to take my hats to you.
Well, down to I think it was Wednesday. I donate some time slips to the school again. Yeah, because I give culture. Well, I give him some already. I give him 6 already, and I think I give him a 7 more on Wednesday. Because he doing it. Well, I think I have a lady now. He said in charge of the school gardening story. But we gotta do it because a lot of people don't get time plant, so time grow. And for
Right.
some reason, I don't get him grow. So I donate some towards the school, and he's very happy. You know what I mean? And I tell him, man, he said he's gonna just distribute them to the school them because, like I said, we got to teach the younger ones them and get them interested in planting because if we can't, whoever feed you control it. End the story.
Yes. Simply put.
And that's a fact. Yeah, whoever feed
So
you control it.
What are some of the stuff, I mean, that culture have at the Ivor Walters growing right now?
Well, he have I know you have, well, you don't put in the time yet, but I know you have some herbs there. But well, this is the next story too. He say he get a little pushback on it right now. So and the school program, but he could tell us more about that thing.
Okay.
I was just, encouraging him from behind, you know what I mean? I went there a couple times, but he been there more time than me. So he got to speak more of that. And I know he trying to
Well,
develop the one in St. Thomas's and
okay, cool.
DON. Yeah.
Yes. Well, I mean, these are things that should be motivated in the Ministry and Department of Agriculture, because these primary schools, most of them when I was there at the time, had a garden can I walk along with. Ain't no school and navies me I walk along with. More you know me. If you live in the mountain, you call me and you want to help me reach. So I was the kind of person. Me okay, if you in my area as extension officer, if you call me and you know boat laws. I'm a station from in a Charleston area. Me come which way there. Who know what? Me come. Because one somebody can make a big difference when it come to in a family. Each family have a farmer can make a big difference. You see what I mean? Because I mean you'll have to share and stuff like that. But people just not get. I mean, there are those who get it, but there are those who figure, well, they have the money, and the money can eat, or the money can buy them anything. But you got to realize a lot of stuff you're buying, your food, a lot of your food is coming from overseas, from other Caribbean countries, and they don't have a better. And you have to, we had some professors and doctor, and as the doctor Professor Mark William was saying, the microbes in the soil that goes into the fruit is what goes into your stomach. You see what I mean? So the food grown in my yard is different to the food grown on my farm. My yard might have a different microclimate. It might have a loam, a more complex loam than the next man might have a sandy soil, a clay soil. You see what I mean? And next man soil might never have no earthworm, and full of earthworms with all the feces and with all the good bacteria and not. So you understand where I'm coming from when it comes to the importance of growing your food. Because this soil in every country and everywhere around the world ain't good enough. There are a lot of soil that is not no good. It's been depleted. It's been overused. It's been toxic by all different type of chemicals. So we really got to appreciate what we see in our environment, because if we don't appreciate it, the others who come in who want it more than we, Remember, they want to bring 10,000 families, What they going to eat? They're not going to stop inside, then they're going to come out, So they come out and they got money if you come over, millionaires, they're going to spend, So how you going to work? Big business is not thinking about, but I hold back some for more than them, because more than them are natives and they're going to want some. No. You got 100 cases of Coca-Cola, more than 100 cases. To hell who again on. I saw everybody think it's dog eat dog. So only those who plant gonna survive. That's what when COVID come, everybody jump around our farm and my phone a ring. Everybody get back to the ways. So I know it's a matter of time that people are just afraid of, because they're just in survival mode, and they just they just have it get up the house, but they're not taking it. I know that. I know these things. You see? So only those, I just had on Kiabo, Gandhi, and Tuesday, we are speaking about small businesses and the center agriculture. The agriculture department and the minister and especially the premier, he need to inject serious money in the agricultural sector. If they want to diversify the economy, you must invest in the agricultural sector, because one of that sector that employ a large amount of people. You can have small processing plants and all these things, and you can create an industry. Even if you're exporting 2 crops, even if you source up bush and all, you export, because you have to go to source up tree. Even if you jelly water alone, you export jelly water to Caribbean countries, you can't get enough plant. And then you're still going to have the jelly waste. You can turn the fiber in a machine into planting material, coconut coal. You can still separate the copra, which is a form of fuel. When people cooking outside the barbecuing, you got the shell. But we're not seeing these things. You see, we've been blinded. because all we're saying is using your land for tourism. And now we're going to import more people from a Destiny project to deportees. And more to how you're going to eat. So I want so what kind of equation you have for me with Adibo? So when these people come in, what are they going to eat? No, we can't answer the equation. So how you put less money in the agricultural sector, but no, you still are bringing more people. Agree. Well, how much more people you want to bring in now with this deported thing? How much more people? Destiny Project is 10,000 families, which is about 40,000 people. So how much more people are coming? How much more coming? 1,000. You just put, and less land is allocated for farming and earmarked for farming. This just that make no sense.
Even with the deported situation, one of the things that I look at from a regional perspective, we have been hearing the cry so far about the free movement of CARICOM officials within the region. And many of these same CARICOM territories have pushed back and claimed that, they're not ready for this regional integration or allowing all, different CARICOM members to come in. I think it's Barbados and some 4 countries, I don't remember the 4 of them, that would have signed and would have mobilized that aspect of it. But here is it that you are rejecting the free movement of people who then could be maybe more than likely, because if you're going to relocate, you have to afford to be able to relocate, right? And maybe there might be possible investors and so on amongst those. But you have been pushing back on that, but you're open to accepting the same CARICOM members, but as we would say locally, deportees, who we don't know what skill sets they may have. All we know is that they are being asked to leave America. And then that has been done, this signing off that we are learning about have been done without any consultation with us, the people, to find out, well, if we, no kind of conversation was had about that to say, well, even if they don't want to come up play and say, ask some kind of question and say, well, what y'all think about this? This kind of level of disrespect that we are allowing ourselves to get accustomed to. I think if we don't seek to address this in these times, these people who we elect are going to continue to try to do these things and put us into these kind of positions if we don't stand up as a people. So that is my 2 cents.
Me not get the part that me not even touch, me touch the part of a momo to feed. That's the point me get at, me not even get into all the other details in that, because that's the one thing by itself. The fact, the point is, you don't bring in a 10,000 families, and you're going to bring on more. We now feed, we import $200 million worth of feed, of food we spend out, and you're bringing in more people. You understand?
You can't say you're bringing in 10,000 families, because according to the Premier, he has not signed as yet.
Actually, me go with what I say. Me not take on that. Me go say what I want to say, because they might do what they want to do. Because see, the Premier just agree with what Dr. Ju, them just do is saying upon it. So they go say what they want to say. So me could they can't tell me what to say. Because you could do you just say what I just do just now. They go say upon thing na consult me, now you, now more. That's when they touch that. You see what I tell you? So nobody could tell me what to say.
I just want to do. No, me tell you what to say now. I just want to be politically correct, so to speak, because
no, that can't correct me neither.
That would be the response. The response will be that I have not signed anything as yet. So even though I came out in my New Year's speech and say would not flinch,
the Premier say good. That's the whole point. Good,
right?
A more to feed.
Even though he said that, he has not said that he has signed. But anyway, I get your point though. Like really and truly, even if he hasn't signed, but based on what we're hearing so far, just like with the Prime Minister, we are not hearing anything, not even a consideration about repealing the SSC. All we're hearing about strengthening and and all that. It's the same thing. We have not heard anything about considering not having this Destiny project. All the conversations we have heard is towards making
Mol,
it happen.
tell me what these people gonna eat, Nadimo. Tell me they're gonna eat. And I need the listening and view nowadays. Tell me what all these people gonna eat. That's what I want to know.
Well,
Where they're gonna eat.
like,
That's what I want to know.
like you said, right? Every time I go to, well, I haven't gone to none for a while now, but every time I used to go to agriculture meeting, right? Every time you hear them talk about is reducing the food import bill. I mean, everywhere you go, every time you go to a meeting, that's the first thing they put on the agenda. But the question is, what are you doing to help to reduce it? I remember the director said one time that during COVID, that the farmers then had help. They gave them seedlings and seeds and different things, and the bill went down. But COVID gone, and then they stopped. So my thing is that if you do it then and it work, why don't you just encourage them to do it all the time? And instead of putting the money in importing food, putting the money into helping local people, local farmers, local backyard, local people here to grow food and import that, reduce that bill and bring it down. And so we got safer and cleaner and better food. And it's a win-win all around. And like you said, you know, you stop the monkey program. I mean, the biggest problem in Nevis with farming is monkey. Because it's disheartening that if a monkey gets into your yard and eat up something, the other day, I mean, this morning itself, one of them get in my yard, it came across on the neighbor wire. So because they are avoiding the electrical fence. And they eat one of my white papayas. But you know, if when you come home and I know somebody told me to plant some herbs and the monkey just practically walk behind them and pull them up. I mean, what are you doing about that to help the farmers then? We gotta get serious about that. And if you want to get better food and you want to encourage people to plant their own stuff, you got to pump some money into that, reduce the monkey population. I eliminate them, apart my concern, they need to go. And then everybody could have a backyard. But in the meantime, I agree with you that you need to give people who are serious, not just people who are just playing around. I mean, an interest-free loan, a grant. I mean, you know who's serious. I mean, you go around, you got extension officers. And then because every time that you talk, they tell you, oh, you got to join up to this association and this association to get anything. But that, to me, I make no sense neither. But because, okay, I'm not saying because of me. But you come around, you look at my yard and you say, boy, listen, what can I do to help you? I mean, like this year, like last year, got a year start already. I revamped my back stem. It was from 2x6 to 2x10. And it cost a lot of money. Right now, I mean, I just changed out my Jeep line them. But I have to buy next roll. Which I got 1,000 feet, but 1,000 feet ain't enough to do my back stem. When I was checking it this morning, I think maybe it's gonna be about 1,600 feet because I got something like 42 boxes and about 100 or something pots and grow bags. But I just bought some emitters them to water. Matter of fact, I just bought some 100 feet plain line and about 50 emitters, small emitters to put on my fruit trees and in my pots them. And right now I'm in the process of getting some more 5-gallon pots because those that I have, some of them that I have, I've been having them for a long time. And, you know, they're going, so I just want to change them out. But in the meantime, you got to encourage people, you know, you got to say, listen, I mean, get that, I mean, you bring in this stuff them, even the electrical fence, and selling them cheaper, bring in the wire, you know, help people sell the wire cheaper. Even you could say, listen, you want to do backyard, you want to do a go back?
Yes, slow down. You're going too fast. Before you leave the department, to do phase 2 at Indian Castle and the PS Huey, I already let him add over 250 rolls of fencing wire. 5 feet wire, 6 feet wire. Along with
Where
that,
there?
more than 30 electrical 12-volt units, along with the aluminum wire 14 gauge. I may talk, you know. When me talk, I go say me no me say, you know. I may talk. This was this come off of the first phase when we do phase 1, bringing enough wire so you could sell some at a cheaper price and you donate some for backyard farmers, 4-foot roll, 5-foot roll. So it got over 250 roll of wire per land and hosing us down. I hear me say all the time. The farmers they hear me say all the time. They too docile. Them just they sit down I got a cobweb. Over 200 roll of wire, you know. For more than 2 years now, coming December make 2 years gone since we left the department. So on the wire then before that, so over 3 years now, you have over 200 rolls of wire there. I sit down. But you know, see the Minister of Agriculture bad minded? Because they now fence phase 2. And then now fence the other part of government estates them. So what the wire them are used for? What them are used for? You got solar panel, you got 12 volt panel to keep up Monkey Hill people. Come on. Why would you do these things? Going back again to the premier again, because the premier in the garden harvest, but yes, some can harvest came to one roll of wire. Yes, no roll of wire to help them harvest, keep out some monkey, some donkey or something, no man, or some pig.
You see,
You understand? The resources are there. The resources are there, Virgin.
Banky, we seemingly have a sort of inferiority complex when it comes to our people. And I say this because you look at the scenario where we spoke about a couple days ago. We learned when they were having the budget of the 20-something plus $1 million that they gave to Marriott's as an interest-free loan. Marriott's, a big name brand hotel out there, were given a 20-something plus $1 million interest-free loan. What interest-free mean? That they not got to pay back no interest. Only whatever they get, they have to pay back. And maybe we ain't even know if they pay it back. Because just like how we only find out by the way that happened,
as
we
Cabo
might not
say,
know if
as Cabo call it, they get a gift. They get a gift.
Right? So imagine that same $28 million was set aside to do what Molly's saying, to help farmers, whether it's backyard gardeners, whoever, to get up. You see, Moll say he just buy out some new thing to set up with grow backs, and so imagine Moll could get a $500,000 out of that to interest free. Just get the money, how much ever he want to buy, wherever he buy, and then he go pay it back every month. Maybe pay $500 or $600 a month till he don't pay it back. You know, go pay no interest on it. You know, happy Moll would be, and maybe many other farmers who are trying to upgrade and maybe upskill and improve their farm or their growing operation, or if it is maybe now going into some packaging, or maybe Moll might decide, no, well, you're gonna make maybe sorrel drink or sorrel jam or something, and he want to buy the machinery to put these things together and all of that. That is what I'm saying. So you have that, and you find that they will be willing to give foreigners or foreign investors, so to speak, these kind of opportunities with our monies, with monies that we could have gotten. We talk about diversifying the economy, and all we're hearing is about looking for some kind of foreign investor. Look at what they're claiming now is the best thing since sliced bread is this Destiny project. I mean, what happened to us we're talking about here? Instead of trying to sell out the lands and encouraging and helping to facilitate selling out the lands, whether you want to say directly or indirectly, what happened to using the same lands or similar lands to give to farmers? Because when farmers ask for land, they're saying that they're not going to land. Both St. Kitts and Nevis, they're not going to land or give farmers. You want to expand right now, you tell them you want a 5 acres, they're not going to land. But
so where these people who come going to live then?
But that's what I say. So that is why I say it seems as if we have an inferiority complex.
We don't eat.
When it comes to eat, people, we can't get what we need and what
I want them to eat. That's what I want to know. What they want to eat.
Look at all the concessions that they get in. Where they gonna eat? Banky,
Yes, I want to know what they're gonna eat. That's the whole point.
tell you what they're gonna eat. You want me to tell you what they're gonna eat?
What?
Yeah,
Who gonna
remember
feed
they're gonna
them?
set up their own. They're gonna set up their own
No,
beach.
no, no, no,
Beach. They're
no,
gonna
no.
set
They
up their
talk
own
about
port. When me tell you how they're gonna eat, they're gonna set up their own port
yes.
and they're gonna bring in their own boat with food. Then I go study with
So
that. They
the
don't want
boat,
nothing from you.
so that no. But when they come to Nevis, so they're gonna on the food import bill.
But remember they're gonna get their
So
own
the
zone.
food,
They're not going on the bill. They're going up on them bill.
we mean them bill, but they got their own
At
island,
them
no? So then,
for them not bring it to the island. No, at them they bring it in for. I open them
yeah.
port you're coming. Maybe customer not even check that if you're not careful.
Oh,
Steady.
really? So if the food import
Remember,
bill
if you
right
go
now
buy food
200
over there,
million
you put a tax on you one.
and
If
billion
you
they
go
go
buy
billion
food in
more.
the zone, if you go buy food in the zone, they're gonna put on taxes on yours. But them who live out there now gonna pay no tax for it.
Wait,
And so you go.
tax free zone.
A
How?
tax free zone is gonna be. How mean?
For who live in there?
Okay.
For who live in there?
Just like a Port Zante right now, Banky. If you go down Port Zante and you buy something in a duty free store, you go pay the duty, but the person come off of the cruise ship not go pay no duty. They just buy wherever they buy and go with
Yeah.
again.
Of
So
course,
that's what I'm
exactly.
saying. Their zone over there is gonna be like that. It's gonna be a tax free zone. So whatever they bring in, they're not gonna pay no tax. Who live in there ain't gonna go pay no tax. When you go over there now and you go to buy from them, you'll have to pay the taxes.
Mol, back to the food thing. Our food we talk about. This is what we're not being self-sustainable, and they're using this word as a toy, and it's not tangible because you're not seeing the resources put in place. You see what I mean? We're talking about broiler. We're talking about all the schools that should have a garden, they have a kitchen. My daughter goes to private. My last week go to Eva Walters. You see what I mean? She eat at the school, so it's important that the school have a garden so they can get fresh fruits and vegetables and all these things, and it is going in a safe way. That's why the things is important. You see what I mean? They can't be having school gardens and all kind of dangerous chemicals being sprayed around, and so that's why the department have an obligation. They have extension officers in all 5 districts. They're all supposed to check on the schools. The job is to drive around the neighborhood, see someone like Mol doing something, see who live there, get in contact with Mol and say, I pass by your house, I see you doing some stuff there. I mean, very encouraging. We're going to meet up with you and see how we can help you and assist you and whatever, and encourage other people. That's what department is there for. That's the job of the
That's what it
extension
should be
officers,
doing.
you know. Yes.
That's what they should be doing.
So I was not treating nobody special when I deal with the whole. I was just doing my work. You see what I mean? I wasn't treating nobody
What's here?
special.
And you talk about it earlier. When they had the COVID, they distribute about 20 go boxes to some ladies, right? And my friend wife got one, and they put the wire around, but they didn't put it around good because they nail on the wire on the back. So I had to go and take out the wire off the back, and so put 2 feet around so I could walk around. But then there was nothing over the box, so the monkey could still get in. So I went and went by law and get a shade cloth, and now they're still growing stuff in the box because the monkey cannot get in. And this is thing that you got to do. You got to go on and look at people. I'm not an extension officer, but I'm here to encourage people to plan something. And I do believe one thing I talked to Miss Jeffers about, Miss Grassfield about, is that I would like to see every home in Nevis have at least 1 go box.
Okay, when we say go back small, what they have to understand, if they don't want to use the 2x10, if you got blocks, 6-inch blocks, just line them up the side around each other and make a square. Whether it's 3 feet by 4 feet or 3 feet by 6 feet, you can use blocks and fully inside with tops, and then you put the soil inside the blocks hole and plant lettuce and herbs in the black soil too, and season pepper in the black soil. So you use every part, and you still have. So the blocks them, I waste nothing. So raised beds you could use stones, some 6-inch stones, and line them up, and then you fill in with topsoil. So it's not like you have to go out and spend money and buy the 2x6 or the 2x10 or 2x12. You can use what you have around you natural resource. You have blocks laying around. You have piece of galvanized. You can cut it down into 16 inches or 12 inches rip with a, yes, what I mean, with a saw and brace it down the same. And I feel it's all about just being creative and use what you have. You can use tires all around a giveaway for free. You fill them with topsoil and planting the plant in a tire, you know? The plant they're in an old toilet, or they in an old fridge, the plant in the way the plant, you take care of me. That also may produce. Yeah, you got old bad when you plant in it.
I see a fridge somewhere, right? But I ain't got no space in my yard, so I can't put in the yard. I sit on the garage and I'm thinking about putting some hole in it and full it of soil and plant some yam in it. Yeah. But I mean the yam I get out the other day was out a pot on my septic tank. So you could plant anywhere, everywhere, anywhere. And you just keep planting. The potatoes I got was around a cinnamon tree. I had some stone around it and I just I added 30 grow bags and put it around it and a few pots. And I just put my drip line on it. And you got irrigation, you got topsoil, you got the topsoil from, well, I get my topsoil and dirt and dung mix from Lenway Taylor from Mount Lily, Westbury. He's where I get them from. Yeah, he do a good job. He do a good mix. I mean, he's friend, so, but he do a good job. And I get good produce. But you just got to plant something. You just can't decide to go and buy everything. And the joy of, listen to me, the joy of picking something from your yard and see it on your plate, to me, even if I say it all the time, even if I don't make like $1, just that I could eat something. You know what I mean? They had some greens, I think it was collard green and cauliflower leaves and broccoli leaf. And I was gonna say put them in the compost seed. And then I said, man, let me ask the neighbor if you want. And she's a cook, and she cook at one in preschool. And I tell her, she said, sure. She came over and picked all what she want, and then, but she sent back and pick again too, you know what I mean? And she said she niced them up for some of the school children, them, and that's a win-win.
Nice.
But if I didn't,
yes, on any comments? Any comments on the walls?
We have on the Facebook, Renwick Jefferson Real Talk Fam, Tambola but say bless up. Ruthlin Hill says good evening to all three gents. And Rhonda Brown says good night all. So I guess folks are logged in and listening. But not yeah, that's about no comments over on the YouTube platform.
I just want to encourage all those who have their small space, who are doing their backyard gardening, who are doing their part when it comes to feeding themselves, making sure they're eating some healthy food, at least some of the food that they're eating and producing, they're going some themselves. It's very important you to continue keep it up, never stop, because if you stop, it means that you have to find money to buy something. So even if you at least have even if a 2 jelly tree you have planted in a yard, I encourage you to plant not just one of everything, at least 2 of everything, in case one happen to die or blow down, at least have a next one. You see what I mean? So I always encourage people to plant. So if you've got a 2 sauce tree, a 2 mango tree, different varieties, or whatever it is, sugar apple, at least whatever space it is, plant food. Because you see, you're not just planting food, you're planting trees that are going to give oxygen to you. You're cooling the environment. You're creating an oasis. You're bringing in birds, lizards, all kind of different stuff within your environment. If your yard is open up like a golf course, or like a cricket field, a football field, the animals will come inside there, no? But 1 or 2 dogs will pick up and fly out. If you want to have different creatures like hummingbirds and different species of birds and stuff like that, create an oasis with different type of fruit trees and stuff like that, and you realize the amount. All those are yours. All those are your pets. You can sit outside and watch the birds and them tweaking and going around the flowers and the pollen and stuff like that. So it's important that we all try to cool the environment. And whatever you plant, it's not about food, it's all about giving back oxygen to you because we're breathing out carbon dioxide, the plant taking in the carbon dioxide and produce oxygen for us to breathe. So we got to be really, by planting, we're really doing ourselves a justice in many, many different ways that we're not even thinking about it. If you're inside your house and you feel like, oh, it's too hot or whatever the situation is, you go to and chill on that tree and stuff like that. That's what this thing is all about. So, more, I know you're supposed to be working on a project, and I'm gonna pull you up on that. What about the church project? Is the other day I was telling Dave Morton, Dave Morton's son. I mean, they need to encourage because what I see Dave Morton doing in the next small space again, out the by Cal, over church ground there in a space that they have a property there, fenced a small area of a land they have there. About, I would say the area fencing is about maybe say 30 by 30. And the amount of food the man got inside them all. Food, banana, coconut, tree, everything, the pumpkin, everything, man, looking nice. So I met his son came by the shop at Kids at the farm and he gets some stuff. I said, man, I want you to encourage your paps to show this video at his church because I know the congregation would not know where this farm at and know is this spiritual who come down to every Sunday is one doing those food. And I also got to bring in Pastor Maynard too. For always getting bananas and spinach and stuff like that. And also Pastor Mull, because they don't know you're a pastor too. Yeah, you see what I mean? And you're doing your part. So you see all these preachers are plant food. Just like, you see? So I got to encourage you because if you are doing it, the congregation had to encourage because the more healthier they are, it's better for you all. So
Yeah.
that's why I encourage you guys. And at the same time, is you all can have stuff to sell at the church. And at the same time, whatever funds you all can raise, that funding can also help those within the same community, within who goes to the same church and stuff like that. And the money could be used as a fund for encouraging those children in agriculture and in mathematics and in sciences and all these different ways when the proceeds from the garden. And it can work. So me put on the pressure, me not stop talking no Virgin. And me encourage all the banks and all the yes.
Banky, I know, I think for the past year or two, I know that there was a competition organized by, I think it was social services or social development, where they had like gardening competitions and backyard gardening competition in different categories, like ornamentals. They would have had those who are into the backyard gardening and so on. And that is coming from uh, ministries outside of agriculture. And I'm wondering if agriculture don't see the need to have more of these sorts of, whether it's competitions or activities that would stimulate um, more and encourage more local backyard gardeners and farmers to get involved. I know that they try their best in terms of creating that space in terms of the agro processing sector, where they afford the opportunity to bring in whatever fruits you may have in the backyard and so on, and so they could make a little money that way. Maybe too, that needs to be advertised a bit more as well too, because I'm not sure that a lot of people or everybody recognize that they can take in, whether it's a golden apple, gooseberry, mangoes, and so on when they're in season, and get some sort of remuneration or money, so to speak, from the agro processing sector and marketing and to some extent as well. So I think maybe a little bit more need to be done in terms of the PRO for those areas, public relations. But I think it might be a great idea, especially seeing that agriculture and food security is of such an importance that we zoom in and doing a lot more to try to encourage backyard gardeners to garden. And that way it would help with the reduction of the import because, as you mentioned, you would have enough to feed yourself, and more than likely you would have enough to maybe either share, barter, trade, sell to somebody else, or maybe to some supermarket or some store or something like that. So I would encourage the Ministry of Agriculture to look into doing things like these to give incentives. And, they could have a lot of different gifts and incentives for people who win and who are successful and so on, whether it's free, drip irrigation, free, whatever, whatever. There are lots of things, incentives that could be given to encourage that backyard gardener to continue or to encourage others to want to be as successful as those who would have won or would have given whatever incentives were given to them. So that's one of the things that I would want to suggest. Mol, anything you want to add to that?
Well, the thing about it, right, as Banky said, backyard gardening, farming is a continual thing. I remember one time somebody told me that they didn't get no potato. And I just simply tell them what my aunt told me. My aunt told me, listen, if you don't get nothing today, you plant again. So you just keep going. And sometimes you might get frustrated over something, but you just put that aside, black that out your mind, and keep going. And like I said before, I do believe that, not believe, I know that we need help. You know what I mean? I believe people get help. If they get help, they will do more. And like I said, every time you hear, is the food import bill. The food import bill is too high. It's too high. I mean, we could go thing here. We could grow everything here. Everything on the planet Earth, I think we grow here. Maybe I never say kiwi grow here, but maybe the apple them. But I have an apple tree in my yard too, one Canadian apple tree. But they ain't start to be yet. I hope it start to be soon. But I do believe they could go here too, because I see someone on TikTok that they go in Africa. I don't know which species are, what type it is. But, if they could go in Africa and we have the same climate here, you should be able to go here too. So we could go almost any and anything here on our little island. And we got to say, well, listen, if they could go here, we shouldn't be importing them. Or at a smaller scale. And you got to encourage people and help people. I mean, like I said, it is very disheartening when you come up, when you look, you have something and the monkey eat it. It's very disheartening. But you got to help people. Whether you got to help them with matting, shade clad, maybe a greenhouse. I mean, because instead of having a beautiful, and I'm not big on flowers, but truth and in fact, and flowers can eat. If you want to cook a pot of soup, you could go and get some banana, some yam, some potato, some cassava, some, beet, carrots, and you could plant them in anything. You could plant them in a pot. I mean, I like the wood because, I put my G-plan and I put my ends in and to me, and I put on my square footing, and to me, I like that. And I got my thing precise. That's what I like. You know what I mean? But you don't have to do that. I also plant in pots too. And I also plant in grow bags because the grow bags is more breathable. And you get stuff, like I said, you get stuff. And everybody could plant something. I remember before I had the fence, the monkey fence, the electrical fence. I remember I had to cover on my pumpkin. My mom told me somebody with an old shopping cart. And I said, why are you doing that there? And he said, I just went up, cut off the wheel and put the blocks on it to keep the monkey from eating my pumpkin. So you got to just got to think outside the box. You just can't sit there and say, well, me ain't gonna do nothing. But you should be able to grow something in the yard, something, even if it's one box, even if it's a few pots, a few grow bags. Grow bags are very cheap. I think 10 of them must cost what? $21 or $20, something like that.
I'm laughing because somebody here trying to push back at you, Okay, so you have I got you a couple of comments. Ounce Irvin Week saying Mall Blessings King. And we have Woodland Hill pushing back saying flowers can make tea. So I guess they're saying, don't say flowers can't eat. They're saying flowers can make tea. So yes, and we have to agree with that because you got the hibiscus and sorrel technically is a flower. Moringa, the flowers also can make tea, and so forth. So yes, people, you're right. But one of the things that I am encouraging and I'm seeking to work on myself, I am promoting what we call edible landscapes. And I like that concept more because at the same time, there are a lot of things that can eat that be a pretty flowers as well. Cause like right now I have eaten some okra and some sorrel, and sometimes I put them together, and I do tell people that this is the real Rasta colors, because they get the red, green, and gold. Because the okra give you that yellow flower, the sorrel gonna give you that red flower, and you got the green leaves, so you got the red, green, and gold. We got a caller coming in, so let's see if we could take that call. Good evening, caller. Greetings.
Hey, good night, yeah, so I go on.
Holding the faith, King.
Yeah, man, let me just bless up everybody for the panel, Banky, the man Mull. I see you
Yes, sir. Greetings, King.
Backyard farmers and the backyard farmers. When you talk about the foodscape, I think that's something that has been proven over the years that can sustain us as a people. You know, things going on right now, so people just start to plant their food. But, you know, I know you talk about flowers and, you know, planting flowers and, you know, the different things that will have the flowers. Ain't no prettier flowers than a guava, no prettier flowers than a passion fruit, you know, no prettier flowers than a papaya. But, you know, when them they done the flowers and the flowers drop off, a food that come.
Right.
So we farmers still appreciate that there, you know what I mean? But we still got plans. I mean, you talk about the foodscape. I split it and made it a food forest. You know, me started with a blank slate. It is a lot of big stone in my yard. But we plant between the stone and we use the stone to make beds. And when we move a stone, we plant a seed. And now we have food all around, food and medicine from front to back. You guys know, you guys come to the area, you see, can't even see me house. So, you know, sometimes we just have to have a different approach and be creative about things. I mean, you could grow in anything. We grow in a crocus bag, you know, by some people who have the chicken seed. And when they pile up the crocus bag, the crocus bag we use and full of deep soil. And we plant in it. You know, you either seal the bag and both ends and punch a hole like how you plant, like, and the matting. You could plant like that, or you open one end and you plant like that. I plant potato, I plant tomato, I plant ginger, everything inside of crocus bags. They may not last as long, but you just have something to hold the bag, to hold the soil, to hold the medium where you're growing in. You know, Mull is the one who have it nicely laid out and fixing with the beds and the wooden thing. And yeah, you could do that as well. But if you have big stone over you, then you just farm a little area and then you fill that area with some soil and some leaf and you plant into that. You know, we don't grow in a half a bucket, old pot, old fridge. The fridge that I had in the house, when it stopped home, we took out the motor and we pack it up outside and we pull it up and down and we plant into that. So we have to be creative as a people and don't really say that, you know, the monkey this and the monkey that. Even if you have a 10-foot piece of shade and you try it over a little area and plant at least 1 or 2 tomato trees, that's something that you don't have to buy. You know, that's something that you could trade with somebody else for something. So we have to start seeing our food differently. And Mull say everything grow here, everything grow here.
Yeah,
so
man.
I really want to appreciate and tell you, Mull, I really appreciate what you do and still push for the backyard farmers and show that you can produce some big things and some good things out of the backyard and out of the side of your house, you know. So motivation for the rest of us and motivation for the, you know, the community at large, you know. So big up the guys them, you know, me already in the background.
No respect. Yeah, man. Yeah, so you see that caller. I mean, when Owens doing his thing, I mean, Owens is a next backyard farmer using his small space in a unique kind of way. As I mentioned earlier, your blocks, you don't have to be wood like Mull, but you can use your stone same way. And then Owens gonna got the matting, he gonna got the little greenhouse kind of vibes going on. Use the PVC pipe and curve them, and it's just about being creative. That is what I'm talking about. You find your own way of what works for you. You don't want to do what Mull do. You can use blocks. As I say, you can use stones. As Owens come and say, use stones. You see what I mean? It's every square inch. You understand? Owens not gonna space a plant, you know. You understand? Also plant. Just so you see more bona fide space to plant. And that's what it's all about. We can just start off. You figure, well, when we're gonna get this a plant, but you start to plant and you realize, boy, we don't plan up everything, you know. That's the whole point. You saw me so we plant up a mold case. I said, boy, go buy the land. Pressure again. Spend the money buy the land. Because your farmer, you're gonna make it back, you're not gonna lose. This is what I'm going to show you. That's the reality. So guys like Owens, Mull, everybody doing the part. You see what I mean? So that's why anyone who taking the time and doing something like this, because the closest to God is the farmers, you know. Especially them who do it in the holistic way. Because you have to have patience. You see what I mean? And you have to understand each plant and how they communicate with it. And especially doing it in a holistic, because it's all about safety. You see what I mean? It's all about safety. You don't want no one buying your food in your product and get sick of any kind of pesticides and all this different stuff, because it's gonna still come back to you as someone in the community. So yeah, man, I always appreciate the work, and Ounce is one you can reach out to at the same time. Any advice and anything you need, setting up your yard and your space and pruning the trees and all the things there, all them things is available. And from Ounce, so reach out to him if your trees need pruning up. You need a small space set up and they can vibes. Just get a garden started with drip systems, whatever it is. The service is there. So not to big up yourself every time.
Already and help. I mean, I've done over the past years since I've been doing this on a full time and doing the farm hand. I've set up at least 8 backyard gardens. You know, so and these are things that you set and give the information. And I mean, the thing is so good now that all the information is there at your hand, right on your phone. You just need to spend a little time, a 1 hour in the afternoon or 1 hour in the morning, and you'll be surprised what you can produce in a little space. You know, you have some people who grow on the porch in a pot, a pan, and I mean they produce some wonderful food. You check, but you know, sometimes people say, well, they get discouraged and, the bugs eat this and the bugs that. It's just a continuation, you know. It's just something there that you have to learn about it. Farming is one of the most spiritual things ever, because it's direct connection to the earth, and it's knowing exactly where your food comes from. It's one of the best feelings you can ever have, ever in the world. Just knowing exactly where your food comes from. It's right outside, you know. And I tell people sometimes you don't really have to buy. And I tell people sometimes you plant not to sell, but not to buy. You know what I mean? And if you plant with them, you'll be able to do the things that you can do. You know, so everybody will do that, and everybody want to come on board. We are willing to help. I mean, we are that need, you know, order. So, and you know, we spread that love, and we just each one teach.
Natty, I want you call out your number so people can reach out to you, because people asking for the number. So call out your number, your contacts, people can reach out to you on the kind of vibes.
Well, my number is one of the easiest number in the world. It's 660-7003. You just reach out. You know, I help and I assist, I teach. The thing is that don't think that I just come and start your farm and then I want you to be a part of the process. I want you to be a part of, you know, the sowing, a part of it. So it's almost like a teaching thing. So by the time I finish with you, you're supposed to do as good as me as multi-check. So I've seen that. I've seen people who say, no, we'll never go in there. And right there we done and we don't set it up and we give a little love. They're amazed at the type of food I have. One gentleman, he asked me, what you're going to do with all the food there? So I tell him, well, you're going to have to find somebody to give now and share. Because he didn't expect that. He little shade house here would have probably so much food. You know, so he asked me when he didn't expect to have so much food. He just bought a couple of trays and he didn't expect to come.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Easy thing.
That it's just something that you have to continue.
Yeah, man.
So, guys,
appreciate the call. Yeah, man. Appreciate the reasoning every time.
Is willing to help and share.
Yeah, man, definitely. Definitely. And we're gonna work on that edible landscape project. You know what I mean? We definitely gonna do that.
I'm ready for you.
Yeah, man. All right, kid.
All right, bless
Enough
up,
respect,
kid.
yes, sir.
All right. Yasan, it's not that I mean, I'm just saying I'm not big on flowers for the lady. I'm not big on flowers, but I do have flowers in front, even my white flowers. I do take care of them. You know. But me personally, I'm not big on flowers, you know. I'm not big on flowers.
No, man, trust me,
But
I could relate to you because that was me and my mother, because my mother, she loved flowers. And my thing is, I
but I
tell her,
do
when
have
I
flowers in
plant
my
it
yard.
to eat, when me tell them me plant things to eat. So you could work with your flowers. I mean, I have a problem with them if I go to water and they're going to water them and so for her, but I mean, that not me thing. So I could relate to you. I understand exactly what you're saying. Why I was just messing around because the listener did give a pushback, and it is true that some flowers are actually useful or
Yeah,
edible.
I know that too. I know that too.
So
And I do have
that's
I do have
all.
hibiscus. I do have flowers
Right.
in my
And
yard. I do have flowers in my yard.
right. So
Yeah.
that's Woodland Hill says got you, or where she asked for the number and she got the number, so she said yes, got you. I really feel good having Mull, and I really thank Ounce for calling in as well, because Ounce is another backyard gardener himself. Like Mull, he has full out his yard with food the same way. Can't even find a space,
Yes,
as
sir.
Banky mentioned, plants on top of plants. You know what I mean? As he continues doing what he's doing, and so we
And
want to encourage guys like those to continue to
yeah, but
pass
let me
it
fill
on.
in Ounce, yeah, his son Mala. I mean, have take up the mantle and have that interest as a young teenager when it come to farming, and got his own section in the garden and doing his thing, planting carrots and beets and sweet corn. So he has watched his father and follow up on his mom and walk amongst their footsteps and continuing. And when you see stuff like that, it's really inspiring. You see a young man taking up the mantle and have that interest when it comes to feeding himself and loving nature and growing his food and just spending time in the garden. I mean, he's onto something good, and I want to encourage him to keep up the good work, stay focused, because it's young men like these you need to continue and pass on the mantle to. So that if father have to leave the island and go somewhere for a couple of years or whatever, and here on, he can hold on the fort and continue to feed himself and be self-sustainable. So when these guys should be encouraged, when you have young guys like these, Irvin's son, Mala. So I just want to big up Mala and the great work. Yeah, he did some internship on my farm also before when he going through his and still graduated top of his class with honors. So I want to big him up on that again. So it shows the youth finding the time to till the soil and still academically excelling at number one in his class when it comes to excelling. So good works, Virgin. You understand? These are inspirational stories. It show you, so it's not like no man, the man now do not the man not take heed. The man take heed, the man observe, and the man fit in. So at an early age, the man don't understand the plant and the art of planting and producing food, because his works, which he coming from the footstep of the high father, and that is great thing. So Navy is in a much better place. So it just need more and more youth like this. Because the youth, they listen to the show in a Virgin. Because they let me know they listen to the show. So I appreciate that. I don't know how much youth listen other shows, but they're listening to us. So when they meet me, they learn me in the rest, we're listening, you know. Yeah, man, and you and Yasan keep up the good works. And that make me feel good. So when you think they're not listening, they might listen. They might not text, not call, but they're listening. And that is important. So when they come, I tend to always give thanks for those who reach out and show love and show support, because what we're doing here is social work, within the community, These are work that is needed to encourage people every day. A matter of fact, it's just now one of my friends who is a lawyer, you understand, who is heavily into gardening. But you not know that these young ladies are into gardening, because you figure they you know what I mean, they dress and they look nice and they whatever. Now they get their hand dirty. Beautiful landscape. So got about the hotel in the soil, help him themselves and keep it up. You understand? Just keep pushing and
And
feeding
I
yourself.
like to say that, Banky, because there's a lot of females who are sometimes overlooked in this field in terms of agriculture. There are lots of females who are out there who are, as you mentioned, in very prominent positions. But when they step out of that, whether it's an architect, whether it's a lawyer, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a, teacher. There are so many of these females who are involved in some aspect of agriculture. I must tip my hats to the principal of VOJN Primary School there, Chrislyn Jeffers, who is very much into the apiary side of things, beekeeping and, producing honey and selling honey, bottling and, labeling it properly and all that. People like Merla Isles, who has, one or two farm areas, and also have the Veggie Hop pharmacy right there at Cades Bay, where there's an outlet, where she's able to sell what she grows, through that medium, and also process some of it in offering cooking and so on and things like that. So she's the head of the New River, cooperative, and has done a lot of work and has gotten a lot of respect. I've been voted, I think, twice or three times back-to-back president. So there are females out there, people like Teacher Amelita, Teacher Altia, and so on, all of these people out there who are doing, a lot of things. Young Akisha, Fergus, and, I am just pointing out a few. I know there are a lot more, but I just want to highlight these, young females who are very much, interested in agriculture and are trying. And I am just using this forum as well to encourage the ministry, because apart from me meeting some of these people and they sharing their interest, they also share, in some cases, the problems and the difficulties that they experience trying to move forward. And sometimes it hurts me, it irks me to hear these things, because the reality is they don't have any reason to lie to me. I mean, so they will come to me and they will tell me X, Y, or Z, what they're going through. And in some cases, they're looking a little help or assistance. And what I can do, I will do, whatever information I have that I can share. Anybody can tell you that. I'm always open, because I feel agriculture is not an area or subject matter for you to try to hold back information from. It doesn't matter how much you could plant and you could grow. There's a market out there for what you go, and 10 more people or 20 more people going the same thing. So there's no competition out there, so to speak. So if there's a little technique that you want to pass on to somebody, you pass it on. I mean, that's me. That's how I see it. I may see it as by me going to teach you and he going to come better than me. No, we don't have, majority of the farmers I know don't think like that. And so I appreciate that, and I appreciate even you, Mal, coming and your years of experience, helping, contributing. You talk about the schools, you talk about, your contribution with church, other groups and organizations, and individual people that you help. And this is what we need. Always saying too, we need some support as well from the ministry, especially for young females. When you have young ladies interested, help them, please. Please, young men too, but more so young women, because sometimes they have the children to feed, and sometimes the men are not. I am a man too, and some of the men are not that responsible in terms of the children and so on. And so the female need that opportunity. If they're interested in doing it, let them do what they could do to help to try to take care of the children and the family and themselves and so on. And so that they don't have to resort to have to depend on any men and to go out and to do things that they may regret later on in life and so on. So, that's all we're seeking to do on this program. And to kick things off this year, we have gotten Mull, Kenneth Liebert in, Backyard Garden King, as we would want to call him here in Nevis, and using this platform to share his knowledge, his expertise and experiences with us, with the hope that we could motivate some more of you to be like him. And I'm sure that he will open up himself to you so that you can come and visit and see what he has going on, and also if you need some tips and ideas on how to do X, Y, or Z, I'm sure Mull will be more than welcoming to you. So folks who are listening, I guess maybe at the end, as we're getting closer to the end anyway, that you would probably give your information as well, so that folks who may be interested in reaching out to you for either advice and or for some of the things that you have to offer for sale. I myself going to have to reach to get a thyme plant or two for myself, because I don't have any.
Okay.
And I love.
As I said that, I normally do them for $5, keeping it low.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I am going to come and get a couple from you. I wasn't even worried about the price. For me, when it comes to those things, when I want something, especially when it comes to farming, I don't argue for those things. I always tell people that when it comes to farmers and fishermen and so on, whatever they call for whatever they want, me pay them
Matter of fact,
because
a lady
we don't,
just
I don't know.
added a lady
Mm.
just added 10 for me, so I have them there. But I have to set some more. But
No problem, no
she
problem. But I'll
she
definitely reach out to you to get
yeah.
one or
And I
two
do
cards.
too. I
I
do
I love to cook for my
Tibbles
garden.
too. Tibbles too. Like the
Okay,
peppermint,
nice,
the eucalyptus mint, the spearmint, the tarragon.
nice.
I'm gonna get into some
Well, good.
rosemary
I need to get back a
and
Terragon plant too. So that's wonderful. I had one before, but I lost it, so I need to get back one. So wonderful. I
okay.
love Terragon. It has that licorice kind of smell and flavor, and like rosemary, you don't need to use a lot. A little bit, and
Yeah.
you get that flavor in your pot. So I really got to get my hand on that. So that's two things I definitely gonna have to check you for. So me Terragon and me thyme. So make sure just put one
I
of
think
each aside. I'm definitely gonna
I
come
think
for
you're
them.
gonna like I think you're gonna like the spearmint mint.
The
The
spearmint.
peppermint mint. The
That,
peppermint and
that's
the
the
eucalyptus
Jamaican
mint.
one. The Jamaican one, the small leaf, the very fine leaf.
No, no, no,
Jamaican
no,
one,
no,
like
no. No, no, no. You're talking about thing. I mean talking about the peppermint mint.
okay. Well, when I come by you, I guess I'll be able to come with my phone to take my pictures. So when I get them, I'm gonna go show. Then yes, I get them. So yeah, man. Enough respect.
Uh,
We got a 4 minutes, Banky. So I guess it will be wrapping up time. So we will give you and Mal an opportunity to, wrap up.
Well, Mol, I mean, I'm
well,
just giving you time to wrap up and then I'll go after you.
all right. Well, it's always nice to be on the show with you guys. Talking agriculture. Like I said, the most important thing is that you can eat what you grow. And that's important. And like they say, who feed you control you. And like I always say, I have three objectives in my yard. Put in whatever order you want. You can eat something, you can give somebody something, or you can sell something. And no matter how small the space are, that you can plant something, and it's always a joy that you can go out and see that you plant something and you can pick it and see and you play. Remember, everything agriculture. Big up every time. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
I
Enough
am. I
respect,
want to
Mal.
thank, yes.
Well, Banky, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wrap up and let you close off the show, right? So I can just give my little wrap up now and then you close off. So I wanna thank, all of the persons who would have logged in and would have commented on the Facebook or the YouTube platform. I want to encourage folks to go over to the YouTube platform, look for Real Entertainment Network on YouTube, subscribe, like, and click on the notification bell so you're notified every time that we have a program on the platform. I want to thank Mull for coming in and being the first guest for the new year for Everything Agriculture. Kick things off on this kind of level where we are encouraging folks to get into backyard gardening, do some kind of little gardening for yourself, find some way of growing something or doing something. If it's not growing something, raise some animals, get into beekeeping, do some fishing. You could do grafting. You could just maybe sell plants in pots. Something that is agriculture that would work towards food security. And so I definitely want to thank you. Want to thank all of you, the listeners and callers, Ounce and all the others. Um, Thank you guys, and we look forward to having you continue to follow us through 2026 and beyond. Um, the Real Entertainment Network team want to thank you guys very much, all those working behind the scenes. Thank you guys very much. Great cooperation, great team efforts. And without, you guys and what we do behind the scenes, we are nothing here. So I can't, do the show without really giving that little extra thank you and appreciation for the works that all of you all are doing behind the scenes. Banky, take it away.
Yes, I just want to say thanks to those who tuning in and continue to tune in and listen to the Everything Agriculture Show religiously every Friday, and also the other shows that we do the topics every Tuesday, and then also Quality Time, the new show with Alan Powell on a Monday. Definitely check that out. That will be the first show starting after the week. So I just want to say thanks to Mol again for always glad to come and have the open invitation when I'm inviting him to speak about backyard gardening and small space, and also thank the premier for uploading his video where he doing his harvesting, doing his little gardening same way. So if the leader of the country can have time to have a little garden space and harvesting of some growing some of what they eat, I mean, we have no excuses. So I just want to encourage all those who are using their small space, tilling the soil, where you have one plant, where it's a herbs, a rosemary plant, I got one at least your plant. So you got to get A for effort. You see what I mean? If you not plant nothing, then you're getting zero. But if you got one thing plant, if you plant scallion, you get an A for effort because you try. Because if you don't take care of this one plant, you're gonna die. That's just how farming is. So you're gonna tell if you take care of it. So I just want to encourage you guys to grow some of what you eat, and whatever you grow is your energy you put into it. And remember, the only way you know your food is safe is by growing it. That's the rule of science. The only way you know your food is safe is if you grow it yourself. Okay? So, Mark will tell you your food safe, Mick will tell you your food safe. Yes, because you can test it. But if you grow it yourself, or you grow me now, or you monitor me now, you don't have to worry about nobody coming to tell you nothing. That's what I'm trying to show you. And that is how the first thing is in agriculture. This is how I break it down to you. Grow, you only go trust you. You see, that is reality. It's too many fake foods are out there, and they hard to differentiate and stuff like that. It's today I had some guests was at the farm, and they was at the front, and I didn't realize that came off our ship. So just tell them if you want to go and those just it's amazing. Those just talking about the scenery and they want to get into farming and whatever. A young couple not knowing they'll actually sitting on a farm, and when they're taking them to the back, it's like they don't want to leave. They want to cry because they come. They just came on a yacht, working on the yacht, and today was the day off, so they come on the land and so forth, and just to wind down and they say, man, I mean, it's just like to reset the mind. So it shows what nature can do when it comes to calming you and giving you a reset, and that is what it's important to have this kind of environment around of you and stuff like that. So once again, thanks for tuning into Real Entertainment, and thanks for choosing the Everything Agriculture Show. Tomorrow you come at Mansour's Last Stop Shabazak, and next you'll get your fish and car meal cooked right in front of you. Your chicken, whatever flavor you want, whether it's curry, whether it's you have your choice of meat, oxtail, you get your baked pies and your local drinks. And the shop have a lot of sorrel, I have pumpkin, tomatoes, bell pepper, seasoned pepper, okra, ackee, you got a lot of star fruit, you got plantain, green banana, sugar cane. Wherever you see, just ask, and you get fresh jelly water available at Mansour's Last Stop every day. You come in and you get your fresh jelly water, only $12 a bottle. You know they're fresh. You know they ain't coming in from overseas, and you can't beat that. They're coming off the tree pick and in the shop. So definitely you want the best jelly water in town. Come and check out Mansour's Last Stop, and also come and get your watermelon. You can have Crimson Sweet and also Charleston Gray. And thanks for all those who come and patronize on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis. Greatly appreciate you guys coming in to keeping my Uncle Mansa alive and his legacy. He's been doing this for over 40 years. And when people like that have invested in the agricultural sector, you got to make sure the name continue. And also for this Agriculture Open Day, I'll be taking part at the Shabazak Organics and Mansour's Last Stop. We'll be taking part at the Agriculture Open Day in the 30th anniversary, and there will be an annual thing. And in February 14th, or you set the date, I will have a Mansour's Fest, a second annual Mansour's Fest. I want to get the flyer make. We're going to set up a tent and have some music, and you come on the farm, buy some vegetables. The shop will be selling the food the same way, regular Saturday, and you just come on the farm, walk around, and whatever I'm harvesting, I'm selling. It's just a remembrance of my Uncle Mansa, and I want to keep that going. And every February, whether it's in the middle, I'm going to be in February, the first week, second week, or third week. And so this will be the second annual one, and keep it going like that. So thanks again for all those who give in support and give me the encouragement for keeping my uncle legacy alive. And got to shout out again to the sisters, Tasha, who is overseas in Philadelphia, and Amonis, who hold on the fort every day in the shop. I'm on the farm, and Aisha who coming in from her regular duties from Bank of Nevis and come over and Saturday and help out her sister and keeping their father legacy alive. So gotta big them up every time. So I'll come over, make sure come out and support and get your food tomorrow around 12 o'clock. Put in your orders because food go fast. And also Sunday sometime to do the same thing. So again, thanks Mal for coming on and sharing your expertise and encouraging everyone to use their small space and to show them that if you can do it, they can do it too. Yes, son?
Yeah, man, give thanks. Enough respect, Mal. Enough respect, everybody. See you guys Monday when we get into another edition of the show with Alan. And then Tuesday we will have quality time with Alan. And then Tuesday we have another edition of the topics. And we should have Rash Judah I on the program with some reasoning. So we're going to look forward to that and see you guys next week on Real Entertainment Network.
All right, out. Thanks.
You get the cue from Ira?
Okay, it seems as if not yet. So let's see if we could get that organized.
So remember tomorrow, come out and check out Manso's Last Stop where you get your Carmel and fish, you get your oxtail, you get your stewed chicken, along with your pies, your macaroni, your nice salad. If you want fresh jelly, nice old jelly water, and you can pick up your watermelon, pick up your star fruit, your tomatoes. You want lettuce is available. Just pull them out of the ground and wash them off, and you take them home. So whatever you don't see, you ask for. And so give thanks again for those who come out and support the cause. You good, yes, son?
Should be, because I think I got in touch with Ira. So whenever you're ready, Ira, just give me some kind of cue, some kind of signal. Let me know that you're ready to get us out of here. And yeah, I know generally I would see some kind of thing happening on the screen, but I ain't see it yet. So I would, look forward to that. Okay, yeah, definitely. So I could see something happening. All right. So people, enough love until then. Guidance and detection.
Inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And tune in. It's inspirational, educational, and you won't want to miss it. It's everything agriculture. Hey, this man Easy inviting you to tune in. It's all about everything agriculture with the man Banky and Company alongside Yason Tafari. It's your weekly educational show. And